In episode 2, we learned that when you send a request to an API, it sends a response back, and that response carries data. But think about it for a second. Data can be messy. A person has a name, which is text, an age, which is a number, maybe a list of hobbies, and a simple yes or no fact, like, is this account active? So how does a computer package all of that, text, numbers, lists, true or false, into one neat little bundle that another computer, anywhere in the world, can read perfectly every single time? The answer is one simple, elegant format. It's called JSON, and by the end of this video, you'll be able to read it like plain English. Welcome to Shadin Path, where we make text simple. Let's go. First, what does JSON even mean? It stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Now, don't let that name scare you. You do not need to know JavaScript at all to understand it. Just think of JSON as the universal language that APIs use to write down and send their data. It's lightweight, it's just plain text, and almost every programming language and every app on Earth can read it. That's exactly why it became the worldwide standard. Now here's the heart of JSON, the one idea that everything else is built on, the key-value pair. A key-value pair is simply a label and its information. The key is the label, like name. The value is the actual information, like John. Written in JSON, it looks like this: quote name, quote, colon, quote, Rahim, quote. The label on the left, a colon in the middle, and the value on the right. And here's the analogy that makes it instantly click. Think of the simple form you fill out. Name, John. Age, 25. Country, USA. Each line has a label and what you wrote next to it. That is exactly what JSON is, a digital form full of labels and their values. The label is the key. What you wrote is the value. That's the whole foundation. Let me now show you how these little pairs come together into real full JSON. Let's build a small, real piece of JSON together, step by step. To group related information about one single thing, JSON uses curly braces. Everything inside a pair of curly braces describes one item, like one person, one product, or one user. We call that an object. Here's an object describing a person. Open curly brace. Name, colon, John, comma, age, colon, 25, comma, country, colon, USA, close curly brace. Read that out loud and it's simply name is John, age is 25, country is USA. See, it's a form. Notice two small things. Each pair is separated by a comma, and text values get wrapped in quotes, while numbers do not. Now the values can be a few different types, and these are genuinely worth knowing. A value can be text, called a string, always in quotes, like John. It can be a number, like 25, with no quotes. It can be true or false. That's called a Boolean, and it's perfect for yes or no facts, like is student true. It can be empty, written simply as null. And here's the powerful part. A value can even be a whole list or another entire object nested inside. For a list, JSON uses square brackets. Say our person knows several skills. We'd write skills, colon, open square bracket, HTML, comma, CSS, comma, JavaScript, close square bracket. That square bracket list is called an array, simply an ordered list of values, one after another. So let's pause and lock in the two key symbols because honestly, they're the whole game. Curly braces hold an object. That's one single thing, described by its labels. Square brackets hold an array. That's a list of things. Master just those two symbols, and JSON stops looking like code and starts reading like a simple, labeled form. Now let me show you a realistic example, exactly the kind of thing a real API would send back to you. Imagine you asked an API for information about a user. Here's the response it might send back. Open curly brace, ID:7, name, Jessica, email, Jessica@example.com, is active, true, courses, open bracket, API basics, web design, close bracket, close curly brace. Now read it like a human. This is user number 7, named Jessica, with that email address. Her account is active, and she's enrolled in 2 courses, API Basics and Web Design. That's it. You just read raw API data. Not scary at all, right? And this is exactly why JSON matters so much for you. Remember episode 2, where the server sends back a response? That response, the actual data inside it, is almost always written in JSON. Every single time an app loads your profile, your messages, a product list, or a weather forecast, the data arriving behind the scenes is JSON. So once you can read JSON, you can quite literally read the information flowing through almost every app on the internet. To read any JSON at all, just remember this simple recipe. Find the key, that's the label. Look right after the colon, that's the value. Curly braces group one thing together. Square brackets hold a list. Text sits in quotes. Numbers and true or false do not. That's everything you need. So let's lock in today's lesson. JSON is the simple universal format that APIs use to send their data. It's built entirely from key value pairs, a label and its information. Objects, in curly braces, describe one single thing. Arrays, in square brackets, hold a list of things. And now you can actually read it. In the next episode, we'll decode those little numbers the server quietly sends back with every response. The status codes, like 200 and 404, so you'll always know instantly whether your request worked or not. If this finally made JSON click for you, please subscribe to Shedhin Path so you don't miss the rest of the API course. We're building it together, one clear step at a time. And tell me in the comments, what part of API still confuses you the most? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.